Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back in. So I've seen a lot of new players coming into the game lately with the Steam Winter Sale as well as the free weekend that Ubisoft did a couple of weeks ago. And there's been a lot of people asking for help about getting started with the game, struggling with getting through the first couple of tiers of the game and moving into some of the meat of the game with engineers and investors and all that kind of stuff. And now I do have a big ultimate guide for Anno 1800. It's about 19 parts long, so it can be a little overwhelming for new players to try to go and find what they're looking for. So I thought it would be a really good idea to make a single video to show how to get through the first few tiers of the game quickly. Not just plodding along, trying to understand and take your time with every little detail, but just get through those first few tiers. For example, I can typically get through farmers and workers and move on to artisans within about 10 minutes. I do play on triple speed a lot, so that 10 minutes equates to about 25 minutes real time, 25 to 30 minutes real time. However, we're going to be doing this on double speed, but my goal is to show you how many buildings you need for each of those first few tiers to get yourself moved on to the next one without overbuilding and without having so much going on that you don't know when you need to advance. We're going to talk about those little things and get through those first couple of tiers really quick and get you through artisans so you can move on to the rest of the game from there. Now we're going to be playing on normal, but with one little change. A lot of people just go in here, click normal, and get started. Don't recommend that. Click custom right here. Make sure that you are on normal right there. We're going to go under characters and we're just going to hit the trash can on Beryl O'Mara, okay? Just get her out of the game. Beryl is probably the most difficult of the medium difficulty AIs, and I've always found it very silly that she is a basic standard opponent on normal difficulty. She's very challenging to play against for a brand new player. So we're going to just take her out and just leave Ching and Willie. That's going to be it. They are 1-star, easy difficulty AIs that will let you learn to play with AIs, but not be any AI that you're going to have a lot of trouble trying to keep up with. Everything else we are going to leave standard for normal, except we're also going to turn revealed map on. This is just a really good quality of life thing, and it makes your life a little bit easier. So other than that, we're going to jump in the game and get started. And if you find any of this video helpful at all, do me a big favor and leave a like and a comment down below. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel for more Anno 1800 content. I know it's a little cheesy to say, but it does help the channel out tremendously, and I cannot do this without you guys' support, so big thanks for everything so far. So here we are on our island that the game has settled for us. We've got potatoes, grain, red peppers, and niter. Potatoes and grain are really important for us. Potatoes for farmers, grain comes into play during workers, red peppers come in play during artisans. Now the niter is not so great. It's not exactly an amazing fertility to have, especially for a game like this where it's going to be a little more peaceful. But you know, it is what it is, and we will deal with that. We've also got 3 clay, 4 iron, 3 coal, and 7 oil springs. Oil will be used in the engineer phase for electricity. Now, let me go ahead and kind of get a starting city built up. All right, so I have used my initial supply of timber that it first give you when you are on the island to build 20 houses, a marketplace, a warehouse, 2 sawmills, and 2 lumberjacks huts. Now the lumberjacks huts you do want to build away from your town, that way they have this radius around them, and you need to have as much space around them as free as possible, so you still hit that 100% productivity and they are processing at 15 seconds, okay? The sawmills, you can put them a little where, you know, somewhat close to this right here. Another thing some people do is they actually start their city way over here away from the harbor, and they will save 10 timber by just putting the sawmills and the lumberjacks in right here. So you could also do that. That is an alternative. I chose to do it this way right here because I know I'm going to need another warehouse later on, so I went ahead and built it. Now you do get 50 more timber on your flagship when you start with a harbor, So we're going to go ahead and drop all of that stuff right here off. And we're going to send our flagship up to Sir Archibald Blake. He looks like the little crown icon on the mini-map. We're going to send him up there because Archie sells timber, and we need timber for our people. We're going to send him up there, and we're going to take some of that 50, and we're going to go ahead and build more houses. Okay, I've got about 46 farmer homes now, and I've unlocked everything in the farmer tier. First thing you'll notice is that our people are unhappy. They have a -10 unhappiness. We can fix that by building a pub. We do need a little more timber for that, but that's okay. We'll have some coming in here shortly, and we'll get a pub. I'm going to go ahead and place it down. It puts it down as a blueprint, and when I have 10 timber, I can upgrade it. I'm also going to need fish, which takes 2 timber. I'm just going to place 1 fishery right there. And then we also need work clothes for our people. Your people have basic needs, so you need to fulfill the basic needs for the people in order to upgrade them. So they need a market, fish, and work clothes. We've got the fishery, so now we need the work clothes. I'm going to put down a framework knitter. We're going to put down 1 sheep farm right here, right next to it. Just 1, that's all we need right now. He has reached Archie, so we're going to go up here and just buy all of that timber that he currently has and bring that back home. Now, why did I say only to build 1 of each of those? Well, if we go to the statistics screen, and to get there on PC, you hit Control Q. If you want to get there from, like, if you're on console or something, I don't know if there's a shortcut, but you could hit your balance right here. Just click on that, and then click on production. I'm not going to go into huge detail on this screen right here. I do have plenty of videos about it. But to put it really simple, this is your supply and demand for everything in the game. These are all your goods you're producing in the supply and the demand. Blue is your demand, green is your supply. You want your green bar to be equal to or higher than the blue bar, okay? It's as simple as that. Our people demand 1 ton of fish per minute. I am producing 2 tons per minute. If this right here showed maybe I needed 3 tons per minute and I was only producing 2, I would need to build another fishery. It's as simple as that, okay? So, on occasion, you need to jump in here and check to see how you're doing on your supply and demand. He is back. Let's go ahead and give these guys a pub. They have been supplied with everything. We're just waiting for those work clothes to be supplied. Once they're supplied, we'll have 10 people in the house, and we can upgrade into workers. And that's it. That's the extent of the farmer phase. I'm making a small profit of plus 66. I have 46 farmer homes. I have 1 each of the productions that they need, the framework knitters and the fishery. And I have a couple of sawmills making us some timber. And that is it. All right, we can upgrade everything. I hit U on my keyboard to bring up the upgrade, overlay. So if we take a look right here, you can see that I have a labor pool of 460. That's how many farmers total are on the island, 460. Out of that 460, 115 of them are employed in jobs. The other 345 are basically sitting around doing nothing. They are my free labor pool. That free labor pool is what you can use to determine how many you want to upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade these guys right here. It reduces that down to 185 and gives me 160 extra workers now. So now we are in the worker phase of the game. What I want to do is go back into that production menu, and you can see that all of a sudden my work clothes and fish have jumped up in consumption. I now have a much higher demand for the work clothes and fish. The reason for this is that workers consume double the amount of fish and work clothes that farmers do. This is true for all residential tiers. They always consume double the amount of the consumer goods of the tier before it, but they do not consume any of the goods from 2 tiers before. So artisans won't actually consume work clothes and fish. They have no demand for it, but they'll consume double of the sausages and bread. So I know that I'm going to need more work clothes and more fish pretty soon. So I'm going to go ahead and add in another group of these. For some reason, it decided to copy the roads. And we are adding in another set of sheep farms right there. Still pretty easy. I've added in a few more things just to go ahead and keep all of this right here where I'm producing enough. I'm going to eat up that extra production, so it's not a big deal that I'm overproducing right now. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add in a few more homes and upgrade a few more of these guys right to about there. Good deal. Now, if we go underneath our worker tab, we'll see a lot of new stuff has unlocked. We have brick roads, we have bricks, sausages, the trade union, bread, a church, sales, and a small harbor that have all unlocked now. I have 220 workers and 256 farmers. First thing that's really important is clay and bricks. You're going to need that for pretty much everything later on. So let's go find one of these clay pits. There's one right there. I'm going to drag a road over to it. Now I am out of timber again. Now I could expand this timber production, or I can go underneath my trading post right here. Left click on the timber, and we're going to click buy, and then we're going to drag this all the way up. So now every time Archie comes by, only Archie, Kahina won't do it. Every time Archie comes by, he will sell me some timber. I can also take my flagship back to his harbor and go buy some. Now, this is a 2-to-1 ratio. This clay pit produces at 30 seconds. The brick factory produces at 1 minute. That means one clay pit can support 2 brick factories. So I'm going to go ahead and build both of those right there. Start getting some bricks coming into the town. Archie now has a lot of different goods he's selling. He's selling the timber again, but he's also now selling steel beams, bricks, and sewing machines. Now, I'm going to go ahead and buy all the bricks he has, and I'm also going to buy these steel beams. It's just going to cost us a little bit of money, but that's okay. We've got a nice, healthy amount of coin up here that we can use for trade. Your goal is to get about 30 steel beams, 30 to 40 steel beams, and, you know, bricks are always good, so you want to keep buying that stuff from him. We're not going to really worry about timber just yet. We've got 75. He came by and sold us some. And do not buy the sewing machines. As you can see, they cost 576. They are stupid expensive, and you do not need them right now. In the meantime, back at our town, we are ready to start producing stuff for our workers. They need to start sausages and bread. We take a look at the sausages. This is a 1 minute to 1 minute. This is a nice and easy 1-to-1 ratio. Now, I'm going to go somewhere else and build these kind of away from the town. Agriculture takes up a lot of room, so I'm going to build that away from town right here. Now, we have gone into the negative a little bit, but that's just because these things do cost a little bit of money. This is 80, and this is 40, but we're going to start making a little bit of money back from it, so I'm not worried about that. The other thing we needed was bread. The grain farm produces at 1 minute. The flour mill produces at 30 seconds. The bakery produces at 1 minute. So this is a 2-1-2 ratio. 2 grain, 1 flour, 2 bakery. However, we probably don't need a lot of bread right now. So what I could do is instead do 1, 1, and 1. 1 grain farm can support 1 bakery, so I only really need 1 of each right now. So that's all we're going to do. And again, if we go and take a look right here, we can see that our bread is perfectly fine right now. If we added another bakery, it would just be wasted income because we don't even need the support of a single bakery. Now, grain is showing low, but that's just because we have 1 grain farm, whereas the flour mill can typically support 2 grain farms. But we don't need all of that right now, so we're not going to worry about this underproducing because we're producing enough to support the 1 bread that we have. Now, while we're waiting for all of that to catch up, we're just going to keep expanding the town a little bit here. You always want to be expanding a little bit at a time and adding in a few extra districts of people every so often just to keep up with what you are producing and everything else like that. And every time you add in more people, just go and double check just to make sure that you are still producing enough goods for them all. We've added some more people in. I think I want to go ahead and upgrade some more of those into a few more workers. Now, we've unlocked the next set of stuff that we are definitely going to need, and that's going to be soap for our workers. The workers are going to need soap. Soap follows a very similar ordeal that the bakery does. So this is a 2 pig farms to 2 rendering works to 1 soap factory. this is where a little trick with this one right here comes in. We go ahead and place down a soap factory up here with our agricultural area. We can see that our soap consumption is very low. It is very, very low. So I actually don't even need to support 2 rendering works for this right now. The trick with the soap factory is that you can use 1 rendering works until your demand for soap passes about the midway mark on the demand bar. Until it passes that midway mark, 1 rendering works will be all you need for it. And again, you will need pigs. Now, if you have the Bright Harvest DLC, around this time, you will have access to silos, but I am not playing with any DLC, just to make this easy for even console players to be able to understand what we're doing here. But again, if you have DLC, like Bright Harvest, you could add on a silo to the pig farm, supply it with some grain, and you would not need this other pig farm. But that's a whole other thing that I do talk about in other videos. While the soap is coming online, we can see that the last thing we need for our workers is 750 workers to unlock the school. So again, we're just going to do a bit more city expansion. While you're building up your city, don't neglect quests. Quests are really, really important in everything. They give you money, they give you items that can either be really useful or can be sold for cash. Like, I don't need this item right here at all, but I can sell it for 4,800 gold. So that's really useful. AI are also really, really good to do quests for because they will give you money. This is going to give me 7,100 coins and some reputation with Willy. So definitely useful to do different quests and everything. Alright, so we have unlocked the school finally, so we can get that somewhere here in the town. You kind of want to get it somewhat central. I know that I'm probably going to be expanding this way, so I'm going to go ahead and place the school right there. And let that fill up. And now all their needs are fulfilled. Once they have 20 workers in them, we'll be able to upgrade them into artisans. Now, you'll probably already notice that a couple of things I have not done. I have not produced schnapps, which is a happiness need for the people. And I've also not produced beer, which is a happiness need for the workers. Now, you can produce that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with producing luxury goods. They do give you plenty of coin. This right here would give me an extra 19 coins per worker house. So that would be really, really nice and would really boost my income up and everything. So you can totally produce those if you want to, but it's not really required. As you can see, I do have a balance of 521 right now. So I have enough money for the moment, but I know that I'll need more here soon. So here we are ready now to go into the artisan phase of the game. And what did it take? It took 2 fisheries, 2 framework knitters, 2 sheep farms, 1 bakery, 1 grain farm, 1 flour mill, 2 pig farms, 1 rendering works, and 1 soap factory. In terms of the number of houses that we have, I've got 44 worker houses and 34 farmer homes. So that's what it takes me to get to the artisan phase of the game. We have a small balance of 521. Yes, we could be making more if we were producing things like schnapps and beer, but I leave that to you to produce that on your own if you want to. And that's it, guys. That's all it takes to get to the artisan phase of the game. A lot of people spend way too much time fiddling around with farmers and workers trying to mass produce soap or cover the whole island in farmer houses, and then they have fisheries everywhere, framework knitters everywhere, and they just keep going in this endless loop of producing more to have more, need more workforce, and they just get themselves stuck in the early part of the game. This is all you need to do to get to artisans. Now, from artisans and on, I have all of my guide videos that I definitely recommend you go check out, because going from artisans on gets a lot more involved and a lot more detailed than what I wanted to get into with this particular video right here. I just wanted to kind of show real quick how many buildings you needed to get through the first part of the game, keep a balance, and move on from there. So I hope this helped a lot of you newer players out with understanding the early part of the game. Again, if you want to see more detailed information about mechanics and everything else like that, my Ultimate Guide playlist is linked down below in the description. With that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, Take care.